Hey everybody, hello, hello, hello. It is Consciousness Conversation with Thomas and I. We're so excited that you're here, that we're here, because I really feel like in this energy, this is going to be a really cool conversation. So welcome, Thomas. Welcome to our Thursday conversation.
Thank you.
How are
It's
you
good to be
today?
here. I'm well. I'm well. Just give me a second as I share us out a little bit.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. So, folks, the reason that we're having this conversation today, as he shares this out, and you all start to join us, was based on some information that I received. Just like all of you, I also pull cards for myself when I'm feeling like I need a little inspiration or a little guidance. And so I picked two cards. One from the Dragon deck, Dragon Oracle by Diana Cooper, and then the other one was, you know what? I can't even, not even sure right now. But I'm not gonna. But what happened was in those two readings, basically what came out was this information about our causal chakra, and I was like, "What's that?" You know me, the ever wanting to learn more, wanting to find out what's going on, how this all works. So I did some investigation and I started learning. And I knew that we had a much larger chakra body than just the seven chakras that most of us are aligned with, as far as knowing, from the top of our head to the bottom of our spine, and then the seven chakras that run through us, right? And then as I went a little further along in my journey, I learned that, we have chakras underneath our feet towards earth, and we have chakras above our head towards the heavens, but I didn't really know a whole lot about them. So this has been a little bit of a journey. And I wanted to share this causal chakra today because of what we're going through. So I just want to say hello to Stacia, Cynthia, Darlene, Natalia, and everyone who is here, will be here, and on the replay. So that is where this kind of came into play, because we've had some big energies going on, whether it was those 5 planetary alignment, whether it's Mars going retrograde in a few weeks, whether it's CERN being turned on, whether it's the full moon that we just had, and the moon phase that we're coming up. Like, there's just energy out there, and it's everywhere right now, and it's overwhelming. And so what's happening is Spirit, of course, is coming in to say, hey, we're going to help you. We're going to help you with navigating all of these energies, because as an energy body, you're going to feel it. And so we want to do that for you. And so the causal chakra is the chakra that is right behind your head. And it is one of your transcendent chakras. So in connection with the divine, the universe, God consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And so very, very interesting. And so it's one of the chakras that was very prominent during the Atlantean age. It was actually a physical part of the body at that point, thousands of years ago. And this is a magnet for lunar light. And it's drawing body in energy in from the moon. And this moon energy is helping the divine feminine to become strengthened, which we all know is going on right now due to the harmonic convergence and all of the energy shifts that we've been going on, coming out of the competition and going into the cooperation. And so this cooperation is this divine feminine energy that is coming to the surface, is coming more in balance with the divine masculine. And so our causal chakra is helping us to embody and transmute these energies that are being really difficult right now. Darrell says, what do you think world would be like if women rule the world? I'm trying to write a book on it. Keep writing. Keep writing. Hopefully we will find out. Hopefully we will find out in our lifetime.
It already happened. In the beginning, that's how it was. It wasn't that the women. It's never about one sex ruling the world over another sex. We have a balance, and there's a balance. However, when I say it already happened, we were in a matriarchal, when we were formed and created, it was a matriarchal society. And meaning that is going back to why we were here, what we were talking about, where we're going back to the very beginning, what you just said there. I'll hear with the 10th chakra. The 10th chakra and that time state, as Melissa just shared, was inside the body. And it actually is now, it's still inside the body, but it's being reactivated in another sense. But back then, in the Lemurian Atlantean time, the women were the ones that understood, accepted, and were able to communicate, be at a higher enlightenment, be connected more with their spiritual self, with everything that we can do and the capabilities that humanity can have, and a human being, the spirituality you can have with it. Men were not as accepting of it. And so they took on a different role. They took on the role. I'm going to say the word supporting. It's not the way we think of supporting. Has gotten the wrong context. It's changed over the years, but it's that partnership that they had. It wasn't all men and all women that were this way, but the majority of women in this time frame, they were the spiritual leaders of the world, of everything that we knew. They are the ones that were taught the Lemurian teaching wheel, for example. Everyone can learn it, but the second wheel, you only could be female to learn it, because it was the females that were the ones that were the matriarch and the control for the most part. The males were they got stronger. They gathered food. They did more of the work, the chores. Think about how everything kind of changed as we went to the patriarchal society, which we're about to leave. But it was that way. And I love when you mentioned this as a topic, and we came into this and you said it there, which is the first thing that blew my mind. You said it there that back in the Atlantean time, the 10th chakra was in the body.
Mm-hmm.
The 10th chakra is in the body still to this day. It is there. The key is we need to learn how to activate it. Activation of this chakra is not just it is not just an activation that you can simply just do a practice on and activate it. That's how you can start it. That's how you can get it going faster. That's how you can transmit it more and get more out of it and really activate it. But it also needs you to have an understanding and a cleaning and a cleansing of that which has already been taught to you, that of the past, that of the society standards, of the norms, of what has been ingrained in you since birth from humanity. Because that has to be let go in order to understand how the pineal gland and how the 10th chakra truly works, to open yourself up to what's going to be coming to your next, to what you can be seen, to what Melissa saw the other day, what I saw the other day. I haven't told you that part, Melissa. What I saw the other day, which is very similar to what you saw, but I saw it at a little farther away distance. To open yourself up to that, to understanding what it is that we can receive and the knowledge that we can gain, and the truth, and how we can truly become a higher ascendant and beings, and how we can be more higher in consciousness and what we're doing, and to be living the love and to be in a whole different realm. It's there. It was there when when it was a matriarchal society, and to put it in your words, women ruled the world. It's coming back because we're going back into that shift. It was lost because of when we were created, and now strike that. When we were first here, it's just the way it was, and when the males took over as a patriarchal, more male centric society, clearly the values of the males were the stronger ones that were taken because they were all in control, and thus the 10th chakra went more silent because it was seen as not what you needed, because the men were not attuned. Most men were not attuned at the time to using the 10th chakra, to using the additional abilities that we have built inside of us to go there. It's switching. We're activating it. We're putting it back out there, and we can activate it. In fact, we might not have enough time to go over this. This is like an hour-long lesson I can give on how to actually activate it and what this actually does, and the scientific proof behind it. Yes, the scientific proof behind the fact that it's there, what it does, and how it explains exactly what Melissa wants to talk about with the casual chakra, or chakra number 10. You can go.
Yes, and so that is what I'm excited about. I'm excited that it is showing back up for us, that it is being activated, that we are coming in connection with it so that we can come into connection with more of our divine feminine And for those that really do stand in their masculinity, in their divine masculine, that they can receive that balance that is going to allow us to shift the balance of consciousness for all of us. And that's what's exciting about this time, that we are coming out of this, competitive, difficult, keeping up with the Joneses energy, just worried, criticism and judgment of what's going on with other people, and really coming into this time of cooperation, where we're coming in cooperation not only with each other, we're coming in cooperation with the planet, we're coming into cooperation with the etheric body that is within us. And these openings, these transformations that we're going through are leading us into this really exciting time of our consciousness developing in a new way. And it's not just going to impact our daily lives. It's not just going to impact our relationships, but where we're headed is going to explode and allow us to take a step into that energy of love that is going to allow us to reach out beyond ourselves. And that is really exciting, that we have a chance in this energy to ascend into the higher consciousness, into the higher realms, and being in connection with the more that is. And for each and every one of us, that may look different. What we believe in may be different, but the energy is shifting, and everybody can feel it in some way, no matter where you're vibrating right now. And what's important with this causal chakra is that you understand that you have it, and that it is bringing you into alignment with your divine feminine to help balance yourself and those around you. Because we are not independent. Energy is not independent. We are all cooperative. And that is the energy that we're coming into that cooperation with each other. Not just cooperating in a way of helping each other, but cooperating in a way of learning beingness of each other. And when you're that connected, there is no division. There is no tension. It is harmony. And that is the energy that we're coming into. And that is why this is so important to understand, that we have these energy systems that are here to help us as we shift and lighten our vibration, our energy system, getting out of the density of being human, and embracing our humanity in a way that we can live out of our solar plexus chakra, which is being empowered, but being empowered in that way that you are helping and living your purpose, not striving and driving or trying to push anybody out of your way. This is about a time of harmony and harmonizing our energies so that we can co-create together and co-create with the universe and the planet. And so being brought to this information for me was very overwhelming, because it's humbling. It's humbling to know that we're more than just this little human vessel that's here, that we are part of the great God consciousness, divine, whatever you want to call it. And so now it's about embracing our sovereignty and really understanding who we are in that divinity, making our choices and decisions from that place of surrender and that place of love.
So it's interesting. The 10th chakra, where it's located? what needs to be activated, what it needs to come about. So you've got the 7 traditional chakras we all know about that are you mentioned in the beginning. For this one and some of the next ones to be activated and truly be understood, you've got to be at a good place with yourself. You mentioned that all right there. In that harmony. The other day, Medi, who's on here, hi Medi, she was sharing in a meditation, and one thing that stood out for me when she was saying is we are not in competition because we all have our own gifts. And that's what we're there for. Yeah, we often sit back and compare ourselves to others. Think about how we're doing compared to others. And you having, jealousy, regret, all these little things, which you don't need to do. That all stems from where we came from in the beginning. Where we came from, how we were taught, what we see others have. And even as a baby, you say, oh, I want this. Oh, I want this too. I want this too. When you really don't want it, but just the way we are. Coming up with this causal chakra, it starts with being open, being responsive, and free from any programmed belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that was programmed into you, how you should live. But take a look at it. Think about this. I'm gonna do a little science behind, just a little the science stuff behind where it's located. It is located. The 10th chakra is located the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have called it the third eye, but it's not. Third eye, kind of, we always associate it more in front, back of the head, right where the spine and the head connect, which happens to be right where the pineal gland is. The pineal gland itself sets off so much inside the body when it's activated the right way. But to activate it, think of it this way. So you take the 7 chakras. Now, I take the human body, where the energy of the human body is. The energy of the most human body is here, heart to root chakra. Okay, this is where most of our energy is. It just is where we do most of our stuff. That's where it is. Now, the idea is here, your head is where your spiritual energy can really be. And you can open up, as I call it, like a radar. Open up the communication, send out the waves that all comes from here. So think about yourself drinking. I don't know, get a drink from somewhere and have a straw. What you want to do is pull the energy from here up to here. Because when you're doing that, now we're just taking the energy that we have, and you can see it. Think about an apple. I can't remember the exact terminology behind it, but the apple, how it's on the top, it's not as wide. When they get in the middle, it gets wider. That's the energy field from the root chakra to the crown chakra. Okay, that's the energy field. As you get in the middle, it's where it's the widest, where it's the strongest. We want to bring it up here. We want to change that up here. Couple things happen when you can activate that 10th chakra, the causal chakra, the pineal gland. What that does is it releases chemicals and hormones in the body. That then, it's a whole long scientific process. I'm not going to go through into it today.
Okay.
But then releases out the activation. The key ingredient to all that, you ready, is melatonin. When it releases melatonin in the body, that is when we become much more spiritually, let me say this simplest ways, spiritually attuned. And so it doesn't mean you have to go to sleep, but between the hours of 1 and 4 and a normal 24-hour period is when the most melatonin is in the body. It's when the most connection we can have. The science behind this, I can go on and on. I mean, even look at the Eye of Horus. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too much into that. But the Eye of Horus itself is a match. If you cut the brain in half and you saw where the pineal gland is, the Eye of Horus is right there. You see it with the pineal gland being the center of it all. So it's all there, and I can give you the more of the scientific and how it all means and all this stuff here. I'm quite tired today, but
No worries, no
it
worries. No, yeah.
it's the key, and it's all right there. But to get to it, you can't just yes, you can just activate yourself. The way they teach how to do this from Dr. Joe Dispenza. The way he teaches it, you breathe in, contract your muscles, watch the breath go down to where the bottom of the straw would be, and then you suck it back up. So you're breathing in. As you're still breathing in, you're watching the breath come back up like the straw, pulling it up the spine to the pineal gland, and you're holding it there. So what's in your pineal gland? This is really cool. This is super cool. Think about this. I've been in a lot of different lives and talks, and we've talked about crystals, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Crystals.
Yeah.
And we talk about the idea of, the crystals get absorbed into the body. They have all the history of the world, blah, 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 all that stuff. Lots of things when we talk about crystals. You see it there. Inside the pineal gland, Tony, I can't get the right uh, dimensions, but it's about 20 micrometers of white crystal. So the pineal gland has these white crystals in them. So each one of us has been scientifically found and proven in the pineal gland there are these white crystals. What happens when you breathe in? You're contracting your body. You're sucking it up like a straw through the spine. It's coming up and it goes and it's activating the. It's activating the pineal gland, which is activating the body, releasing the melatonin, the chemicals in your body, opening up your field.
Yes.
And so this really happens when you can get this connected. But you can't just open up the field. Think about that. If you walk into a football stadium, I don't know why it's coming. You walk into a football stadium, you expect to see the football players and the teams, okay?
Yeah.
That's respecting maybe fans.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're expecting. That's what you've been programmed to see.
Mm-hmm.
If you have never heard of football before, or you're going into another place you've never heard of before, you're walking into it, you are going to see everything. You're not going to be focused on the primary thing of the football players. You're going to see the lines in the grass. You're going to see the different colors throughout the stadium. You're going to see the referees, the cameramen, all these things that you never see because you have now taken the program of a football game, players, ball, score, to everything that's going on in the stadium, everything that's going around you, the whistles, the sounds. Your senses are being opened up because when you let that programming go, you're opening yourself up to seeing everything that is there beyond what you've been programmed to see, and seeing in a way, sensing it in a way that you can then accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how you see an angel. Think about how you see your guide, if you see your guide, or how we talk to you, or we draw them. We draw them in the image of man.
Mm-hmm.
Because we ourselves have been programmed that way. We ourselves then assume that any other creature that's out there that's going to be high intelligence that can communicate with us must be in some type of form of an image of a man. Whether you see an alien with a big head and blah blah blah, or you see an angel with the wings, it's all in the vague description of what humanity is. But if you can let that programming go, to truly see what you see out there and get an experience to you, you might see a true form of a light. Just a beautiful, bright, white light where you're looking for shadows and you don't see shadows anyway because there are no shadows. They're just a beautiful light, and these beings are just beautiful lights. Can have different colors based on who they are and the shapes, attributes that they have. But we can't do that. We can't see beyond our realm, beyond what is out there, until we release the programs that are in us. So we can activate it. We're still going to be limited by the activation of our programming. But if we can activate our pineal gland at 10th chakra, we can have this causal chakra open. We can connect it with the moon because the moon's a big part of it, and the astrological. And when you say the moon part, we're never getting into the galactic side of it. But when you connect it with that and you can let go of your programming that is out there, you're able to really intensify what you can then open up inside of yourself. The knowledge you can receive, the truth that can come to you, that are there for you. But it's a process. You take that energy that's inside of you, the energy in those lower chakras, you slurp it up into the pineal gland, you activate yourself, and the pineal, you say I look tired. I swear this has happened. I have scientific proof. In my meditations, I snore now
Mm.
because the melatonin comes out, which releases the chemicals that puts me on the different theta waves that are out there activating different things. I am having meditative thoughts, other things happening, and to the outside world, I'm snoring. I'm fully conscious, but the body is sensing that really everything's going on that's supposed to be going on when you get to that state. And it can be done. And it's all right there. And we had so much access to this in the beginning.
Yes.
And we lost it. And now's the time. We know there's these energies are going around. I feel like I had a weirdest dream. I don't have negative dreams. I woke up in my dream last night in such a aggravated state that I didn't get out of bed until I didn't fully assess everything because my daughter then got me up. She's like, I want breakfast. But I was laying in bed and like, I wasn't going to get up until I removed that to understand. And actually, what I had to do is call back my power because in the dream, I was giving it away. I can even feel the peace coming on me now just by calling back my power, calling back my power. But it's these states, these things we can do.
It is. It's time for us to become empowered. It's time for us to live in integrity, and it's time for us to open up to the more that is. So, thank you for sharing, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. And this is definitely a topic that we may revisit. Because I know there was a lot I could have added also. Dr. Thomas and I think, are on the same page as far as the science and how this all works, because that's why I am here, to help you, for those of you that are really struggling with what you're going through and how it all works. And that's what's beautiful about this time that we're living in, is we now have the information. We now are able to access, and it helps us to move forward on our individual journeys, but living in integrity is where it all begins. So thank you, everyone, for being here today. And thank you, Thomas.
Are we already done?
We are.
See what happens when you let me just go like that and talk?
No, it's good. It's really good. And like I said, we may have to revisit this because both of us have a lot to say in this subject area. And no, it's good because people need to know. People need to know that, programming. It's out
So
there.
one more thing on this, because I just want to reiterate this practice.
Sure.
Releasing the melatonin in the body is not about sleep.
No.
Melatonin is actually one of the key and most most important healing chemicals we have in our body. And so when it's released, and it's released in the right amount, yes, you can get a little more tired, but you're also, during that time, you're healing your body of many, many things when used properly. When you are stressed, the melatonin production shrinks. When you're stressed, your sleep shrinks. When you are stressed, guess what happens? Ready, people? This is the big one, all right? When you are stressed, and this happened back in the olden days, and the science has been proven, the melatonin is less. When you are stressed, then the melatonin is less. What then exact opposite happens? Your body goes into, from its olden days, its olden past, when it began, goes into famine, because the biggest initial thing of stress was famine. And so the body's natural reaction to that is store the carbohydrates for extra energy to burn off. And so stress basically tells your body less melatonin, less of the helpful healing chemicals that go into your body. We're going to store more of that carbohydrates as fat to use because we're going to a famine state, and it kind of counteractive what we all want to do. When you release the stress, we can activate ourselves. So you can go in the meditation when you close your eyes. Closing your eyes takes away the senses of the main physical senses, takes away a couple of them, and transfers now the senses that are getting into your pineal gland when they can be activated into using different senses. And so this is a big thing. breathe in, contract your body to push that up through the, like a straw, push that breath back up to the spine and have it land right in the pineal gland. Have it land there against those crystals, activating them. And you can hold the breath slightly when it's in the pineal gland, and you'll start seeing the release of these chemicals. So then transform into other chemicals. And the whole science that goes behind it, and then begins activating, like, back for those old people that from the born before the 80s, the little rabbit ears on the TV. That's what your pineal gland turns into.
Mm-hmm.
And the receptivity of what you need to find, the information you want, the communication you want to have, increases. So practice that. Release the melatonin. Get that. And yes, that is light language. Activating my pineal gland is coming out when I do that, apparently. Just wants to.
Yes.
So, yes, that's all. Get grounded first. That's the most important. Yes, you want to be grounded when you do anything. You can't be high strung to even do any of these things. You got to be yourself in a nice, grounded, calm state to get the right flow and the right activation. And maybe we should just continue this and really go. I mean, seriously, there's like the Eye of Horus. I mean, there's so many things. Even the pattern of the brain, and it matches the pattern when you've got.
Okay, let's come back to this next week.
All this stuff. Okay.
Okay. All right. So take 2 next week, guys. Thursday at 3:30. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Set an intention to have an amazing weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.